and her portfolio outperformed every single large hedge fund in that same year and even more than doubled the returns of Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway.
So what do? They stop all the primaries. They don't have real primaries anymore. They haven't had a real primary since 2012.
Yeah.
They rig them. They rig it with Bernie Sanders. They rig it with RFK Jr. They're just, the whole business is gross.
White House Press Secretary Karoline Leavitt is making waves and shaking the very core of the Biden administration. In a fiery exchange with the press, she dropped a bombshell, revealing just how far Nancy Pelosi allegedly went to rig the system for personal profit. Rumors had circulated for years, but the scale Karoline exposed left the room in stunned silence. This wasn't bending the rules, it was rewriting them.
Have you talked with the president about his position on the stock trading ban bill before Congress? He obviously had pretty loaded comments about Senator Hawley. There's some reporting that they've since spoken. What is his position on the current status?
The press thought they had Karoline Leavitt cornered. Smirking reporters tried to bait her with questions about Senator Josh Hawley's bill to ban insider trading and his recent public clash with Trump. They smelled drama. But Karoline didn't flinch. With calm precision and fiery clarity, she shut down the media games and stayed focused on the truth. They came for a scandal. She gave them a masterclass.
Spoken to Senator Hawley, who called him, and the president took that call. As the president said in the Roosevelt Room yesterday, conceptually, he of course supports the idea of ensuring that members of Congress and United States senators who are here for public service cannot enrich themselves. And
Karoline's opening move? Total annihilation of the media's fake drama. She shut down talk of a rift between Senator Hawley and President Trump, revealing the truth. Hawley simply called Trump, explained the bill's goal to stop insider trading in Washington, and Trump backed it fully. No betrayal, no feud, just facts. Then, with the air cleared, Karoline went on offense. She ripped apart the press's obsession with GOP infighting and turned the spotlight on Nancy Pelosi, exposing the ugly reality behind her stock market fortune.
That this idea to put a ban on stock trading for members of Congress is even a thing is because of Nancy Pelosi. I mean, she is rightfully criticized because she makes, I think, $174,000 a year, yet she has a net worth of approximately $413 million. In 2024, Nancy Pelosi's stock portfolio, this was a fascinating statistic to me, grew 70% in 1 year.
That's the kind of shady that belongs on the front page. With insider intel from the halls of Congress, the opportunities for abuse are endless. While the average investor hopes for 7 to 10% gains a year, Pelosi's portfolio soared an eye-popping 70%. That's not savvy investing. That's suspicious. And while everyday Americans fight for modest returns, the political elite play by their own secret rules. Karoline Leavitt isn't letting that slide. She's keeping the heat on Pelosi.
And her portfolio outperformed every single large hedge fund in that same year and even more than doubled the returns of Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway.
Democrats often talk about socialism and present themselves as champions of the poor, but their actions suggest they're just as interested in wealth as anyone else. They just want control over it. Using the banner of equity, they push social causes that often end up benefiting themselves. Nancy Pelosi's salary as Speaker of the House is more than enough for a comfortable life, but she still wanted more. For them, it's less about serving the people and more about protecting their own financial interests.
So I think the president stands with the American people on this. He doesn't want to see people like Nancy Pelosi enriching themselves off of public service and ripping off their constituents in the process. As for the mechanics of the legislation and how it will move forward, the White House continues to be in discussions with our friends on Capitol Hill.
The whole point of the Honest Act is crystal clear. Stop greedy politicians, especially Democrats itching to follow Nancy Pelosi's playbook from turning public office into their personal goldmine. These people didn't swear an oath to their stockbrokers. They swore it to the American people. And yet again and again, they treat public service like a VIP pass to private fortune. Enough is enough. This bill is a long overdue punch in the gut to anyone who thinks power is just a shortcut to profit. Honestly, I think it's one of the smartest legislative moves in years. If it passes and actually gets enforced, it could finally slam the brakes on this toxic trend of turning government jobs into Wall Street launchpads. Public office isn't a hustle. It's a duty.
That's the whole system is so f***ing corrupted.
Ugh.
And it's so obvious, like we're at a stage where like we have enough information to see like that how much greed and money just corrupts the system.
But I don't think we really got to see it until Trump ran. I think you got to see it unveiled in a way when Trump ran that you never got to see before.
Joe Rogan said it best. Without Trump in the race, we might never have uncovered half the political rot in Washington, including Pelosi's shady stock deals. And he's right. Love him or hate him, Trump ripped the mask off the establishment and forced them into the spotlight. He broke their monopoly on the narrative, got Americans asking the hard questions, and dragged skeletons out of closets they thought were sealed shut. Politics didn't just get rattled. The old system got blown apart.
I think you got to see it unveiled in a way when Trump ran that you never got to see before. Because also you got the rise of independent journalism that happens at the same time.
Yeah.
So you have people that report just on the facts, not like this CNN lean or the Fox News lean, but just reports on exactly what's happening and how it happened.
That's the Trump effect in overdrive. He didn't just sidestep legacy media, he exposed it. While anchors and politicians toasted each other at glittering dinners, trading coverage for access, Trump bypassed the gatekeepers entirely. No filters, no favors, just direct lines to independent voices and the American people. Legacy media wasn't reporting the news. It was managing the narrative. Trump shattered that arrangement, dragged their dirty laundry into the daylight, and made it impossible for the establishment to hide in the shadows.
Paying attention and you follow those people, and a lot more people are than ever before, you get a way different understanding of how gross this game is.
Yeah. And
because the guy was so polarizing, and because he was such an easy guy to turn into a like you pointed to him, you're like, this is him. Look at the way he talks.
Yeah.
He's gonna ruin the world. It's a threat to democracy.
That's exactly why they went after Trump. He refused to play their dirty game. No backroom deals, no cozy dinners with Pelosi, no becoming another cog in the DC machine. And for that, he became public enemy number one. The legacy media walked in with the political elite, launched an all-out smear campaign. They dug through his life, his businesses, even his TV career, desperate for anything they could twist into a scandal. Their mission was clear: destroy his reputation, block his presidency, and lock the door behind him. But it backfired. The harder they attacked, the more Americans saw the sham. Instead of burying him, they built a political powerhouse, and that's what keeps them up at night.
Up all the primaries. They don't have real primaries anymore. They haven't had a real primary since 2012.
Yeah.
They rig them. They rig it with Bernie Sanders. They rig it with RFK Jr. You know, they're just, the whole business is gross.
Democrats love to preach moral superiority, democracy, and justice. But their actions tell another story. They claim to be the nation's moral compass, yet their own party hasn't held a real primary since 2012. A party named after democracy doesn't even trust its own voters. Instead, they handpick favorites behind closed doors, running it like a private club while pretending it's for the people. If Republicans tried this, it'd dominate headlines for weeks. But when Democrats do it, silence. It's the ultimate do as I say, not as I do. They fear Trump because he blew the whistle on their hypocrisy and refused to play their rigged game. and he never will.